Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the top stories of the day as covered on Mega News. Greek farmers have agreed in principle to hold talks with Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis next Tuesday, following more than a month of protests that have disrupted major highways. The government extended the invitation yesterday with a condition that road blockades be lifted. Farmers accepted the condition in principle and are expected to begin reopening roads while keeping tractors at the roadside to signal that mobilizations remain active. Over the weekend, protest groups plan to select a representative delegation to travel to the Prime Minister's office in Athens for the talks. The government has emphasized that discussions will only take place if all protest sites are represented and roads remain open. Nevertheless, tensions continued in some areas. In Thebes, farmers briefly clashed with police over reopening a service road, burning bundles of straw before the standoff eased. Large-scale demonstrations also continued in Thessaly, where farmers maintained a 48-hour blockade on the Athens-Lamia highway. Major transport disruptions remain nationwide, with closures reported near Thessaloniki, central Greece, and border crossings. Trucks and freight vehicles have been frequently diverted or stopped, leaving hundreds of drivers delayed. The 15-year-old boy accused of fatally beating a 17-year-old on Tuesday is appearing before a prosecutor today as authorities continue investigating the case in northern Greece. The teenager is scheduled to testify at 1 o'clock this afternoon before an investigating magistrate in the city of Ceres. He has admitted to striking the victim but says he did not intend to cause his death. Speaking from police custody on Wednesday, the suspect expressed remorse and apologized to the victim's family, saying he is burdened by guilt rather than fear of prison. He also disputed key aspects of the case, claiming other factors may have contributed to the 17-year-old's death. The suspect said there are accounts that the victim left his home later that night, met other groups, and may have been involved in another confrontation. He also denied causing injuries to the victim's stomach. The teenager said he was at home at around 1:30 a.m., a time when he later learned the victim was still outside. He confirmed the confrontation began over a dispute involving a girl and said he did not want the situation to escalate. Primary and secondary school teachers across Greece are planning work stoppages throughout January, protesting new education measures introduced by the Education Ministry. The Greek Primary Teachers Federation says 1-hour work stoppages began on January 8th and will continue through January 30th. Teachers plan to stop work for 1 hour each day at any point during the school schedule. The Federation is calling for the repeal of a law related to a ministerial decision that makes teacher evaluations mandatory for educators and special educational support staff in both primary and secondary schools. The Federation says the measures also require teachers to cover staffing shortages through compulsory overtime. Secondary education teachers have announced similar mobilizations with rolling 3-hour work stoppages planned through the end of the month. The government says the evaluation framework aims to improve the quality of public education. However, teachers' unions argue that negative assessments could affect career progression and increase workplace strain. New Eurostat data show that Attica led Greece in short-term rental activity during the second quarter of 2025. According to figures released on January 8th, overnight stays booked through online platforms in Attica exceeded 3 million. The South Aegean ranked second with nearly 2.39 million overnight stays, followed closely by Crete with an almost identical total. The Ionian Islands placed fourth with about 2.22 million overnight stays, while Central Macedonia ranked fifth, recording just under 1.49 million. At the European level, Andalusia in Spain was the most popular region for short-term rentals during the same period, with 13.3 million overnight stays. It was followed by Croatia's Adriatic region and France's Ile-de-France. Meteorologists say Greece is facing a sharp shift in weather in the coming days as a polar air mass moves into the region, bringing lower temperatures, heavy rain and snowfall. Authorities warn of dangerous conditions, including intense rainfall, snow at higher altitudes, and a significant drop in temperatures. Unstable weather is forecast through the weekend. Rain is expected on Friday in the Dodecanese and the Ionian Islands, with heavier rainfall in Epirus, the Peloponnese, and parts of central Greece. Snow is expected mainly in mountainous areas. Temperatures are forecast to drop to around 10 degrees Celsius in northern Greece, 12 to 15 in central regions, and about 17 on Crete, with icy conditions possible during early morning hours. Winds will initially blow from the northwest at 7 to 8 Beaufort before turning southwesterly at 5 to 6 Beaufort. In the Athens area, mostly sunny weather is expected, with clouds increasing later in the day. Temperatures will range from 4 to 15 degrees. Meteorologists say Monday and Tuesday are expected to be the coldest days of the year so far, with snow potentially reaching coastal areas, including parts of Attica, the Aegean Islands, Evia, and mountainous regions of Crete. These were the top stories of the day as covered on Mega News. Thank you for watching.